Hi, this is Yared from Ethiopia. I am here at Glasgow following the COP26 or attending COP26. Uh, Today I'm going to share you a little bit more about the negotiation, how the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change negotiation is going on. There is parties or countries which represent their countries or maybe their regions. They came together, participate in this negotiation. So more than 197 parties agreed to the Paris Agreement, which were held in Paris. So following that, the negotiation is going on the mechanism for implementation, how we can implement the Paris agreements. So the negotiation is still going on that one, and this year the unfinished negotiation, which is the Article 6, is going on. The Article 6 negotiation is still going on. Uh, uh, just to give you an overview about the negotiation, the countries will be categorized or maybe grouped in different regions. For example, African group of negotiators. There is also least developed countries of negotiators. So, for example, Ethiopia might be grouped in the African group of negotiator as well as in the least developed countries group of negotiator. There is also a group which is called G77 in China. So Ethiopia is also, be a part of the G77 in China group of negotiators. So when the Ethiopia's position most likely aligned with least developed countries and African group of negotiators, then in the broader way also will align with the G77 one. So mainly the negotiation is going on between the developing countries and developed countries. So the developed countries also have their own groups called Umbrella, and also there are other groups which is called ILAC and also AOC's small island states. So this all came together, and as you know, it's going to be difficult when every country speaks on the negotiation. So based on our grouping, we will speak on the negotiation room. So it might be the African group of negotiation, or a coordinator will represent Ethiopia or Gambia, or there will be a coordinator for that. Then that will speak on behalf of Africa. Same with the least developed countries. So the least developed countries will represent the countries and speak on behalf of them. So that's how the negotiation is going on the ground. Also, countries will be represented with different number of negotiators or maybe delegation. So basically, it incorporated different numbers, and there are different thematic topics which is going to be negotiated. So, for example, I am following loss and damage. Others will follow the climate finance issue. Even under the climate finance issue, there are many agendas which is going to be discussed or which is going to be negotiated. So that should have to have at least one person to negotiate on behalf of the country. But due to it depends on how many member of delegation you have or not. So that who will follow on that one. So just to at least gap that to fill that gap, the grouping is really helping, especially the developing countries which could not accommodate big number of delegation on their big number of delegates or maybe negotiators on their delegation due to financial strains and other things. So it depends. For example, on adaptation, there's many agenda topics or many issues which is going to be discussed: mitigation, climate finance, capacity building. I'm just giving you the highlights. The loss and damage issues also is there. Transparency, global stock take. We can mention many topics, and also under them also there are some sub agendas which literally needs the bigger attention or maybe a room for a discussion. So there are parallel sessions going to happen every day, or might happen at the same time. So that also is going to be one of the challenges, especially to follow many agenda topics. And also it's going to be really tough, especially now we are in the first week. So the first week discussion is mainly on the technical issues. So the technical negotiators are now sitting on the table and negotiating on the technical terms. For example, we were discussing on the different paragraphs, even wordings, what it means. In this negotiation or in this space, English not just English. It has its own interpretation. The wording really matters. Also the comma and everything really matters. So each details is being observed or being negotiated by parties, which is countries. So that really matters on this kinds of multilateral negotiation. So we are negotiating on this term. So there are other procedural issues also is being discussed. Also there are the subsidiary bodies, which is which applies. There are Substa or SPI, which we call them subsidiary bodies, which which parties committed to Paris Agreement, and also there are terms called parties agreed to Kyoto Protocol, which is the CMA and CMP. And also there is a COP, the Conference of Parties Bureau, that will also be the ultimate decision maker of this negotiation. So now we just finished the first week, and now we are going to discuss on the SBA and Substa plenary to discuss the all agenda topics and to see on which agenda item are we agreeing on, or on which draft text or draft decision is going to be agreed on. These are I'm trying to give you the overview about what kind of how the negotiation is happening and also how it looks like. So it's different more than even like just in this scope, as I told you, even in the single thematic topic, which is on climate finance, 20 agendas are being there. So for 20 agendas, we need 20 people to negotiate and also to follow all the agenda topics. But because of also the past process, especially for missing 2020 not negotiating on the table, the agendas this year is really heavy and also hectic and also happening parallelly. So I am following loss and damage, and loss and damage we have 3 agenda items. One is on the governance issue. The second one is on the Santiago operationalization of Santiago network, which we established in Madrid in the previous COP. And the third one is on the issue of finance for loss and damage. So we are much more discussing the issue of the functionality and the operationalization of Santiago network. Still, the negotiation is going on. Each countries have their own interest, their own concern, their own challenge. So, bringing this all like 193 countries, also parties, coming in one table and also agreeing on the text is kind of really difficult. And also don't forget that this is a multilateral process, so where each has their own say, and also if each countries can disagree on whatever they want or on any issue. So that's going to be one of the challenge in the multilateral agreements and also in these kinds of negotiation. As data has been released about the participation of COP, around 40,000 delegates are participating. Around 21,000 is from party delegates, which represents countries, which represent government. Around 11,000 represent non-governmental organizations, civil society organizations. More than 3,000 media were participating in this scope, and other also from different constituencies. For example, from young people, business people, also women, researchers, academicians, business owners. This all are participating in this COP. So as it should have to be inclusive, and also as the UK presidency said, this COP should have to be an inclusive COP. So COP26 is all about inclusivity. So they try to accommodate as much as possible all the delegates, all the participants, and also for the biggest number we are from Brazil. It's around 500 or 495 to be exact. So that's the biggest delegation from a country. So this really varies. Mostly from Africa, it's less than I see or I hear from each African countries or least developed countries that they bring less than 50 member of delegation to participate in this COP because of the financial issues, the logistic, the visa issue. There are many things which been challenging for least developed, especially the vulnerable countries, to bring a bigger delegation in this COP. Actually, not only this COP, but obviously there's a lack of capacity, or the capacity really differs from one country to other countries, and also on the preparation of on the previous preparation, or also on knowing the agendas. Maybe if this COP is going to be your first COP, your level of knowledge is definitely obvious that, or it's obvious that might be a little. Then since in this kinds of negotiation process, usually experience really matters. For me, this is my fourth COP. I participated in the past 3 COPs, but my first 2 COP was literally focusing on youth engagement as a youth delegate, and I started following negotiations in previous COP in Madrid, following loss and damage. Now I just get deep down in the negotiations more, and try to understand the difficulties, the challenges, the opportunities, and I am trying to push and be a new blood for new generation of negotiator for least developed countries, and also for Africa, especially on our region as well. On East Africa, we need more negotiators which are fully capacitated, and also fully communicating each other, and also who can bring a strong position, and also who can really figure out, identify the challenge on the ground, and also bringing that to the table is really critical. So with that aim, I am trying to shape myself, and also trying to capacitate myself through different supports from different organizations, and also through different mentorship from my seniors and others. So capacity really matters when it comes to sitting on the negotiation table. So of course the developed countries are well capacitated, and also they have the resource and everything. So with that, it's really tough also to go on the same line. So especially this multilateral negotiations, one country might have good capacity with regards to that thematic topic, that thematic agenda, that thematic issue. Maybe the other might not have a good amount or a good capacity on that thematic topic. So that really have an impact on the negotiation process, and also slowing down the process also. So delegates should also have to be consistent, and also follow negotiation for a longer term. It's just coming for 1 year and going back doesn't give a meaning, especially when you represent your country. So consistency also really matters, and also we need to be as well persistent on the issue, on the negotiation as well. That's what I can say.